Hello, how are you? Travel and continuing the adventure are among the experiences that people love the most. With the spread of the internet, videos and reports about almost all places in the world have started to appear, almost because there are still places in the world whose filming and visiting are restricted to a few scientists and explorers. However, there are also some adventurers who risk their lives to visit these places out of curiosity or recklessness. Welcome. I am Firas, and in this episode, we will talk about the most dangerous places you can visit on the face of the Earth. Before we start, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive our new videos immediately. The Marshall Islands in the Pacific Ocean became an independent state in 1986. Before independence, these islands were under American administration, and the Marshall Islands in the Pacific are still subject to an optional agreement with the American government to be a nuclear testing ground in the period following World War II. Bikini Atoll received the lion's share of the nuclear tests. After the evacuation of dozens of the original inhabitants, the island was the site for testing 23 atomic and hydrogen bombs. These tests and detonations continued throughout the 1950s and 60s, until the US government began reconsidering the possibility of allowing the people of Bikini to return to their island in the 70s. The decision was indeed made after reviewing the radiation levels. However, upon the return of nearly 150 people to their homeland, they began to show symptoms of radiation poisoning. Although reports initially stated that radiation levels in the air were safe, further intensive studies revealed the abnormal spread of the cesium-137 isotope. This element had spread deep into the island's soil. The simple explanation for the radiation poisoning that occurred to the residents was the contamination of the soil and agricultural lands. For this reason, imported food from outside the island is the only solution for any visitor wishing to go there. Therefore, this place is also unsuitable for any family with children, and most of the island's visitors are explorers and students. Bikini Atoll was opened for visits in June 1996. A visit here is not for relaxation and fun, but is more like a historical and scientific lesson in the manner of documentaries. Tour organizers there offer complete programs to visit the detonation sites, explain their impact, and conduct very limited tour accommodating only 11 individuals at a time. The number of people who visit the island annually ranges from 250 to 400 explorers and adventurers only. Death Valley National Park in the American state of California is one of the places you can visit at your own risk. Visits there are without any insurance, and of course, no one is permitted to venture into the place itself. The place is aptly named Death Valley to reflect the danger of the location. Trips to the valley are always quick and fleeting, taking advantage of the last hours before sunset. All precautions must be used, including moisturizers, appropriate gear, and more. Death Valley holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded in all of North America, which reached 57°C in 1913. Despite the harshness of the place, many visitors love it to see the rocks carved by erosion factors in addition to the hills and valleys made of multicolored stones. With the disappearance of the sun and the drop in temperature, many types of animals begin to roam the valley. The valley contains the lowest point in North America, known as Badwater Basin, which is a salt flat that dips about 90 meters below sea level. It is a wonderful place to view the large salt formations. Finally, Death Valley offers a chance to observe the Timbisha Shoshone, one of the indigenous American tribes who managed to find a way to adapt to the valley's difficult conditions. Mount Cinnabung volcano is the only active volcano in the world whose sudden eruption warning level reaches level IV. Simply put, this volcano is the largest in the world that is expected to erupt at any moment. The volcano is located on the Indonesian island of Sumatra, and its height is 2,460 meters. The volcano was dormant and quiet for 4 centuries, but after its eruption on August 29, 2010, it has not calmed down. Because of this, the Indonesian government enforces a 7-kilometer exclusion zone around the volcano. Of course, a visit requires permits, signed declarations, and is costly as well. All this is ultimately so visitors can enjoy a panoramic view of the mountain from a safe distance. Tourist trips that approach the volcano include a program of spending a full day in the nature of the nearby forest. You can swim in the lake's camp and observe the daily life patterns of the local villagers. Of course, the Russians have not forgotten to compete with the Americans, even in Death Valleys. Just as there is a Death Valley in America, there is another valley in Russia. But the difference is that the danger of the Russian Death Valley lies in its low temperature, not its high one. Along with the Great Cold, the valley contains extremely dangerous volcanic gases. Therefore, all that visitors to the Russian Death Valley can do is view it from afar, similar to Mount Cinnabung. The Russian government established a nature reserve at a safe distance from the valley and equipped the reserve with observation decks to view the valley from afar. During the viewing, tourists receive a lot of information and explanations provided by the accompanying tour guide. Trips are limited to the summer months due to the moderate climate and temperatures. The other way to visit this dangerous area is by taking a helicopter tour over the site, where you can see the victims, the carcasses of birds, foxes, bears, and wolverines, whose bodies remain preserved for long periods because the deadly gases prevent even bacteria from freely operating. Mount Washington in the state of New Hampshire is known as the place with the worst weather in the world. This mountain held a record for decades, the lowest temperature ever recorded in any inhabited city in the world, which reached -48. The second record was the fastest recorded wind on Earth, estimated at about 370 kilometers per hour. Both of these records were later surpassed, the temperature record by a Russian city and the wind record by Tropical Cyclone Olivia on Barrow Island, Australia. Despite this, the mountain still maintains its position as the place with the worst weather on Earth in general. The reason for this is that the bad weather on the mountain is not just an occasional occurrence, the condition there is almost continuous. This is why the number of documented fatalities there has reached 153 cases, not to mention the missing and those who were never reported. Despite all these dangers, many adventurers from all over the world still visit the summit of this mountain every year. Visits are, of course, in the summer, which are the calmest days in terms of wind speed. They enjoy a risky trip and a view of the American and Canadian regions from the mountain's summit. They also visit the Mount Washington Museum located at the summit, which is a museum of human and natural history in the area. In the Madidi National Park in Bolivia, all meanings of the word adventure are fully manifested. From the start, the trip is at your own risk. Of course, no tour sets out without the visitors obtaining permits and signing liability waivers for themselves. The reserve was established in 1995 in an extremely dangerous area located between the Amazon rainforest and the giant Andes Mountains. The reserve is one of the most biologically diverse places on Earth. It is a huge maze covering an area of about 19,000 square kilometers, full of dangers and challenges. The reserve is teeming with all types of living creatures, with classifications ranging from gentle to deadly. The reserve is home to about 270 species of mammals, the most famous being the jaguar, in addition to more than 200 species of reptiles and amphibians, the most famous being crocodiles, constrictor snakes, and venomous snakes, in addition to about 120,000 different species of insects, some of which are considered highly dangerous and venomous. You also have about 1,100 species of birds, some of which are found only in the reserve. The adventurers every step there, without the instructions of the companions and guides, could be enough to end their life or at least put them in danger, as there are no means of communication. After all this, even reaching this forest requires enduring a 20-hour journey on extremely dangerous and winding mountain roads. These 20 hours must be planned for in advance, and the weather conditions must be checked, because if heavy rain falls during the trip, the mountain road you are on could collapse. Fraser Island in Australia is not much different from Madidi National Park in Bolivia, where visitors go at their own risk and also sign a long list of warnings and precautions before they go. Despite the charm of Fraser Island, its beautiful beaches, and its turquoise waters, the dangers it contains make it a place no one would visit if they wish to remain alive. Every place on the island is more dangerous than the last. Visits there range from a maximum of 1 to 3 days. As for the dangers on the island, they surround every part of it. Firstly, the currents and strong tidal waves are constantly hitting the island's shores. One of the things that regularly happens is the visit of great white sharks to the island, in addition to 2 types of venomous jellyfish whose stings can lead to death if not treated quickly. The island is far from any civilization and hospitals. That is why as soon as any of the jellyfish appear on the island, the beaches are temporarily closed until they are cleaned up. Finally, large saltwater crocodiles about 2 meters long are regularly monitored. If an adventurer decides to go to the island and says, "I won't go in the water," the dangers will still pursue them on the beach, among them venomous snakes, in addition to wild dingo dogs that bear no resemblance to domestic dogs except in their external appearance, perhaps. I have talked about 4 of the most dangerous places you can visit on the face of the earth. Tell me what you would like me to talk about in the upcoming videos by writing in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and share. And for those who are watching us for the first time, subscribe and activate the bell to receive our videos immediately.